Let's just say you're in a house party, you guys are doing barbecue, someone
Okay.
asks you like, bro, what are you doing? What's your like work? Or what are you gonna say?
So I do digital marketing. However, I feel digital marketing has the worst reputation ever. So I specifically do digital ads. And what we go ahead and do is do anything from e-commerce businesses to lead generation. Typically, the way that I work is you have to fit within a certain criteria in order for us to actually work with you. Because I want to have like passion. My team has to also have passion for what it is that you do. Because I feel the output is different whenever you're working with a client, right? But you actually feel for it and you have like the vision behind it, then the product is way better in my opinion. So we go ahead and do all that, like CRO report, like everything, all the boring stuff.
Now that makes sense because like, you know, like some people, they just want to do it to get rid of the project. Next one. You just want to actually do it like the right way. You want to make it like basically perfect or like something that you're proud of.
Yeah, I get that for sure. I think there's a lot of people, especially like so many people are doing digital marketing now, where they just take on any product or any project, where it can almost be detrimental for your business. Because the thing is, like, you need to take into consideration reputation. Where if you're just taking on anything, you don't even know what you're doing, like the product's not going to be good at all, right? And it's your reputation at the end of the day. So if you just the product goes terrible, right? You don't know what you're doing, nothing. You get zero conversion. It's all going to come back to you. So that's why I format it where it's like, I want my team to enjoy what it is that we're doing. So then 1, we work harder, and then 2, more efficiently, and then 3, it's just an overall like greater product. But I feel like everyone kind of just takes on anything nowadays. They don't really kind of get specific.
I see, that makes sense. How did you even get into this like media space? First place,
So do you want the long story or do you want the short story?
The real story.
Okay, so this was the thing. So from the very, very start, right? My dad. I'm gonna go on a little tangent right here, but we cut it up. So when I was really, really young, like 10, 12 years old, I would always go to Beverly Hills. I would like beg my parents, I'm like, please, can we go? I want to look at the supercars. Like, this is so cool. And we'd sit there for like hours, right? And I would just watch all the cars go by. Where my dad told me one day, he's like, you know what? Like if this is the lifestyle you want, you have to go out and get it, because like we can't give this to you. Like, this is something that you have to go out and do. And then even then, you know, I think that transformed a lot inside of me, and it really turns me kind of like into more of a man at a younger age. Because I feel like there's a lot of guys now, especially where they're so reliant, or people just in general that are so reliant on their families and other people around them to kind of help them and take them to the next level. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, if you want to change your situation and do what it is that you want to do, like, that needs to come from you. You know, it's like no one else is going to influence that. So now going into the story, I just wanted you to have like a foundation.
Of course.
Now, what I started doing was started a reselling account. So I was doing like Supreme, Bape, Off-White, like Yeezys were huge. So I was botting all that, and my friend and I, Tyler, we would get so many shoes like per drop because we were botting, right? And then from there, COVID hit, and I'm like, dude, like what the heck? Like, the shoe market crashed. Like, it was just a bad time. So then I started a detailing company, and then from the detailing company, right, I met all these types of people. There was this one guy, he actually owned a Chevrolet dealership, and I would come to him, like I was doing his cars, like I was building a relationship. And then one day, like on the side, right, I was kind of teaching kids, like documenting my whole life, right? So my barber sees that I'm doing like vlogs and stuff, and I'll do like little edits like with cars and like little stuff. And he's like, dude, that's so sick. Why don't you come and do a video for me of me giving a haircut, and I'll shoot you like some cash. I was like 16 at the time. I'm like, heck yeah, free haircuts and cash. Like, I'm for sure doing that, right? I think any other 16-year-old would too. So I started getting pretty good. And then I was showing the guy who owns a Chevy dealership, and he's like, dude, get really, really good. Go upgrade your camera, and then I'm going to start introducing you to people. So that's what I did. I ended up getting pretty good. And he did. He introduced me to a lot of people. Ended up introducing me to this guy named Mike Ho, which he took me to the next level. I also met a guy named Concrete, and they were showing me like just how to edit different forms of cinematography and videography, which really took me to like the next level. So then from there, I started offering like social media growth and management packages. But the thing was that I kind of had low retention from my clients because I was charging like $3,000 to $4,000 like a month. And the thing is, when you're doing content, people want to see ROI. They don't want to just see like your social media grow, which that was a bit hard for me. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I got to figure something out. So then that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to offer content creation and digital ads. So then I hit like both checkpoints. So then it's like, look, we're shooting the content and we're also generating results, leads, sales, whatever it is. So we're going to double down on that. And that's how I got into this industry. Now we only do like, I outsource my content creation to a buddy of mine who has a content creation agency. But now I just focus on like website development and then digital ads. Because I mean, I can run ads, but if the website isn't set up for conversion or something, then it doesn't work. So
I see. So I know you mentioned that after like the shoe industry kind of went down, you went to like a detailing business, right?
Yeah.
Why did you make that choice? Because I feel like a lot of people would have given up, or they just would like abandon all the plans they had.
So my thing, and I think this is where people really have like a turnaround. I would say that starting the detailing company was like the biggest like step towards like what I wanted to do in my life. Now the reason I started it was because like everything was closed, right? You couldn't even leave your house really. I didn't care. I still left. And the thing was I was like, okay, you know, some people are still leaving their houses. What's one thing that everyone still needs, right, that will kind of never go away, like right now? All the car washes and stuff were closed. So it's like, all right, cool. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to offer exterior only on cars. I wasn't doing the inside. People were a little weird about that, this whole sanitary thing. Yeah. So I was only doing the outside of cars. And then like later, kind of people started like, oh man, is this real? Whatever. Then I started doing like interiors and stuff, but it all started from the exteriors of cars. And I was just trying to make money instead of just sitting at home, which I feel like a lot of people during COVID, that was their break or make moment, where people either just sat playing video games, buying stuff online, just doing whatever, which honestly, I wish I would have gotten into ads around that time or e-commerce, but it's all good. I just wish that would have happened. And I mean, that's kind of the reason I started the detailing company instead.
I see. Yeah, because like during the COVID times, as you said, like a lot of people were just like, they were either doing something, they started doing something, or they were just like taking the lazy approach, doing nothing. Yeah. That's basically when I started taking my content creation seriously. Like early 2020, I was like, I'm home, like might as well do something, you know? Yeah. So that's very like true. Like there was like a huge wave of just people either using the opportunities to be lazy or actually using it to build something. Yeah. And you said like after that you went through media, you know, content and helping businesses, you know, with that aspect. Yeah. What did you notice that like other businesses were doing wrong in your industry at the time? That you're like, I can do better.
I think it was creativity. I feel like everyone, what they do, especially in the marketing field, everyone just kind of, they use stuff like SEMrush or like Facebook ads library, and they kind of just look at what every other competitor is doing, and they don't really optimize. They don't really see like how I can get the full juice out of the lemon. Yeah. So they just kind of copy everyone's concepts. You know, there's nothing different. It's like I see the same ad over and over again. It becomes like a habit where it's like, look, if I'm doing something for a law firm, right, and then I'm stealing content or Facebook ideas from another law firm, they're most likely getting targeted like by the same person. So it's like I end up seeing the same ad double. Yeah. So that's why it's very important, I feel like, to be very, very creative. I mean, that's why like some videos on social media, they blow up like crazy just because like it's a whole creative concept and you're looking at it and you're like, what the heck am I even looking at? Or it's so different. That's why pattern interrupters are huge. You know, and that's what gets the most traction.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of like what I followed.
Like what's your like a principle that you always follow to find creative things or creative ideas? Because one thing that I heard is that, you know, people are saying, you know, let's just say grab something that works, you know, in another industry and put it in your own industry, but like tweak it, make it in your own way. Do you do that, or like what are some other things you do?
I definitely do that. I see what's currently working, and then from there we kind of, since I have the production background, my team as well, like I've also showed them, everyone's knowledgeable within like watching content and saying, okay, this could be fixed, and then what we go ahead and do, right? It's like we'll watch the content, we honestly look at it from like a very like non like biased like opinion, and we look at it and be like, okay, I would fix this. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, I would have clicked away right here, and then we make those adjustments into our own forms of content. So I mean, I do take that into consideration whenever I'm doing stuff for clients.
Makes sense. Like you said, you have like a non-biased perspective and you're judging your content. And I feel like a lot of people, when they post, if they like something, they're like, oh, this is good, but they don't see it from an external perspective. Like, why do you do that?
Well, because at the end of the day, right, it's like I got like, obviously it is like my content and what I like, but I also need to pertain to people, like new audiences and current audiences, on what they actually like. So what I'll go ahead and do is like I'm doing YouTube right now, and I'll send the videos out to like 10 of my friends before it even airs, right? I send it as like a private link. I'm like, look, can you just watch this? Like, is it entertaining? Tell me where you would drop off, so then I can really go in and fix it. And then that's what I go ahead and do. And like whenever I do that, those videos get the most views, you know? So it's good to have that, because you know, at the end of the day, right, what you like is different from what someone else is gonna like. So you need to take that in consideration. So many people are so big on like, oh, it's my content, it's my journey, it's my story, all this and that. Some people don't care, just being honest, you know. People want to see a certain thing. So you got to pertain to those audiences.
I see. How do you like judge like a good piece of content? When, like, what do you look for when you're like, yeah, this is a good piece of content?
I mean, it really depends on like the industry and what it is specifically. Like especially like when we're doing ads for clients, sometimes iPhone videos are better than videos shot on a camera. So it's like I really need to understand like the audience and then adjust to that. I think that there's so many like just great videos out there, and it's crazy too. The reason I got out of production also is because there's so many kids who honestly they're better than me at shooting videos, and they're doing it for free. So I was like, okay, I got to get out of here, right? Now, I feel what really makes content great is the story and the vision behind it. Maybe for me being a director and kind of seeing what like the director's vision was and understanding the story, it doesn't necessarily just have to be visuals. Like everyone does graphics, everyone does captions and stuff. So I think it really needs to be different on that aspect where you can understand like the story behind it. So if people watch movies, you know.
Yeah. So you're saying you have to kind of find certain tools, like let's just say the storytelling, the visuals, the vision for the video, to give like a feeling to the viewer.
Yeah.
So the viewer is like, okay, I get where this is going, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times you said like a lot of people just have this copy-paste format for their content,
100%.
And it's very repetitive. And I'm guilty of this, that you just copy-paste it and you're like, you know what, it worked. And sometimes it actually gets good result, but then like it just doesn't come as like something you actually tried and you put your best effort in it, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's what so many people do it, which I mean, I get it. I think that what they go for is like, since the concept works already and they can go ahead and replicate it and they think that they're gonna get the same results. However, most times you also like gotta notice too, it's like people want to see the information. They don't care about the graphics, the visual and stuff. Yeah, it kind of grabs their attention initially, but at the end of the day, the reason that they're gonna watch the whole video is because either it's educational, entertainment, or there's something that's driving them to want to watch more of it, right? So it's like, honestly, some of my videos where I have 0 edits, right? Those get the most views. And that's what I also implement into my YouTube channel now. Like before, I would spend hours, right? I would do crazy edits, all kinds of cool stuff. And then I realized, I'm like, this is not converting at all.
Yeah.
So then I just kept it so basic, literally basic cuts, the most basic intro, and I don't even edit my thumbnails anymore. And those get the most views.
True. Yeah, it's crazy because like a lot of people think like you have to do this like crazy editing and sound effects and lights and just to make a good video. But like just because you do more, like as you said, it doesn't mean it's a better video, right? Because people respond to it differently. It just doesn't make sense. Sometimes you just have to do less. Yeah, less is more.
Less is 100% more.
Like for example, like I do podcasts, right? Like I see Joe Rogan, right? You look at his thumbnails, there's like just a picture. Yeah. Literally, there's no text, no editing, nothing, just like a picture. Yeah. But it gets like 20, 30, 40 million views. Yeah. But then you see like some other people doing like maximum editing, crazy effects, and it's like barely any views. Yeah. Obviously, the person who's doing it, all those things matter, but like, sometimes less is more.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So in this industry, like I'm sure you've been through your ups and downs,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So how did you? What was like something that you faced that you were like, you know what, this is super challenging. It kind of made you question, like you being in this industry. Maybe like you were like, should I quit? Should I change? What was that?
I think what it is just understanding that this like business and everything, like what we're doing right now, this is all a game. Yeah. It's like it's just how bad do you want to win, essentially? Where it's like I enjoy. Like, honestly, I enjoy my failures and my success because, the failures I learn the most from, and it's hard. It's like, you're like, dude, am I even doing the right thing? Like, should I even continue? But I think it's like, once you understand that this is literally all just a game and you're playing to win, and it's like, look, I fail here, okay, but what did I learn? And you implement that new skill that you learned into your business, or it's like, okay, that doesn't happen again, right? But you have to really enjoy, in my opinion, what it is that you're doing in order to really take it to the next level. Because, there's a point, right? People stay motivated for a short period of time, right? It's discipline that takes them to the next level. That's why I have it honestly tattooed on my neck, because that's what it reminds me. It's like, so when I'm like, man, I don't want to do this, I'm like, I got it tattooed on my neck. I got to keep going, right? But that's what people need, especially when they're failing, because like 99% of people fail right when they're about to win. So I always take that into consideration. So
you're saying you have to ingrain that mindset of just like keep going no matter what's happening.
No matter what's happening. Like you literally have to think like, what I'm doing today is gonna affect what happens in 3 weeks. So if I give up today, like that's done. That's it. Dream's done. At least I know if I keep going, then I'm like, okay, you know what? At least I tried. And at the end of the day, I feel like everyone needs to take that into consideration, especially in business and just, I mean, honestly, just life in general. Like when you fail, you lose a race, whatever it is, you understand why, and then you implement that, and you just keep pushing forward. Essentially, that's what's going to take you to the next level. If you don't change anything, you're going to get the same results.
I see. That's 100% true. Like, you know, a lot of people, when they fail, they start identifying themselves as that failure. They're like connecting, like, yeah, I am a failure.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way you're describing it is like, you know, the failure itself is just separate than you. You know, you're like, you know, it's something that, you know, didn't go like the way I wanted, but I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to move forward.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people, when they fail at something, it can be anything.
Yeah.
They think they're just a complete failure in everything.
Yeah.
So how did you go about, like, you know, changing your perspective of, you know what, this failures doesn't mean I cannot succeed. That doesn't mean I cannot make forward moves, you know?
Are you asking like what really pushed me to keep going?
Yeah, like, because like a lot of people just cannot handle failures.
Yeah.
They start describing themselves, you know what, I'm a failure.
Got you. I think it honestly, a bit of it comes around how mentally strong you are. I was a person where it's like I thought to myself, like if I just keep pushing and stuff, something good will happen. Where I feel like people who look at themselves as failures, I mean, honestly, I don't even think you should be in business. Like you're the wrong business. Don't even do it, because you're going to fail. So you have to think of yourself as like the way that I think about myself and what I put out is who I become. So if you think you're a loser, right? Like you're done. There's, you know, and it comes down to like honestly like manifestation and stuff too, just the overall mindset on what you convince yourself. Because I'm a firm believer that if you keep telling yourself something over and over and over again, that it will happen, especially if you truly believe that you are destined for something like that, it will happen. Because at the end of the day, right, I didn't have my Porsche, I didn't have this house, I didn't have like anything before, but I always told myself like, I'm gonna do it. And it became so instilled into my brain where I almost convinced myself that I already had it. Yeah. And then from there, since I'm constantly thinking about this stuff, it reflected in my work as well, because I had purpose, right? Where people who are just like, oh, I'm a failure, I'm a this, they don't see themselves, like they don't see that they have purpose for this life, and they don't want to push themselves. So they just totally give up. And honestly, it's like, it's good for us business owners because, you know, it's like people like that, they get out of the industry, or some people only last for a short period of time, and then the real dogs, whatever, the people who are going to overcome all the obstacles and everything, those are the ones who succeed.
Absolutely.
So it's like, that's why there's not a lot of room at the top, but I'm not at the top yet, but I'm slowly getting there. Yeah. And I have the mindset instilled to get me there, which everyone needs to do.
I get it, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because I was having like a similar conversation with my barber yesterday, and we were talking about like how like whatever we tell ourselves like basically becomes reality, because you said, you know, like the more you tell yourself, you know, I'm good at this or I am this, like eventually you program your mind in a certain way that's like, it's you. Yeah. And then that way of thinking gives you a certain beliefs, and those beliefs, you know, lead to like certain actions. Yeah. Those actions lead to certain results. So as a result, your life changes because of a certain thought, because of a certain habitual way of thinking and mindset. You like program yourself. Like if you, as you said, if someone constantly believes, you know what, life is going against me, life is holding me back, my family is holding me back, my girl is holding me back. They bring excuses. Nothing is going to change because you're just giving your power away. But like, I'm sure you were like, you know what, no matter what's happening, I am responsible for this. I'll change it. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I agree with that 100%. I think barbershops are funny. I think, I don't know where I heard this. It was like a quote. It was like, we don't go to therapy. We go to barbershops. Yeah. Is that from a movie? Or is that? I've heard it before. I'm not sure. I feel like I've seen it on Instagram or something. Something. I don't know. I just thought it was so funny, and I just stuck with it. I started saying everything. I'm like, all right, I got to go get a haircut. Yeah. It's crazy because, like, that's where, like, a lot of real conversations, like, that's how you grow. Because a lot of people nowadays, especially the younger generation, like, let's just say 15, 16, all the way to, like, 25. Yeah. They get a lot of their information from social media. They avoid human connection. Mm-hmm. They avoid like those like raw, authentic connections that actually make you realize things, question your own way of thinking. Yeah. And they just avoid it because it's just kind of uncomfortable in the beginning. Uh-huh. Like I'm sure you met people, you said like you met the person from the Chevy dealership, right? Yeah. And that changed everything. Yeah, yeah. Just one person. Yeah. And you live like so many years. Imagine how many people you can meet.
There's so many people that sleep on opportunity, and they live in the opportunity comes and goes. No, it doesn't. It only comes and goes if you're out constantly putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, right? Business doesn't come to you. Business, you go to business, right? If I'm trying to grow my agency or whatever it is that I'm doing, it's like I have to go out there and I have to do it for myself. You know, no one gives it to me. Even like when my dad told me, he's like, look, no one's gonna give it to you, right? You have to go out and get it yourself. Which I took that to heart, and I think everyone else needs to also think about what they're currently doing and think like, am I putting myself in the best rooms, best scenarios for the most opportunity? Which a lot of people don't do that because they're scared, they're nervous, they fear rejection. Like what my sales team is doing now is we're doing a lot of cold calling. You don't fear the call. You fear the rejection.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you don't even know the person. They're on the other side of the phone, so it doesn't even matter. It's just everyone just is so scared, right? That's why, you know, also guys who want to talk to girls, there's so many weird dudes out there that just like, they just stare at like a hot girl or something. They don't say anything, right? From across the room. And then she looks and she's like, what the heck is this guy's doing? Where the guys who actually go up and like talk to girls too, those are the ones that are the best with the girls.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So.
I see. Yeah, it's like a lot of people have that fear. They keep avoiding the discomfort, you know? Like I saw a video of you that you were saying like, you know, you got to face the discomfort. That's where growth happens. And that's true, you know? Like
100%.
I feel like the most amount of times I've grown in certain situations because I put myself in a uncomfortable situation that forced you to grow, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like because, you know, I'm sure you've been in situations that you had to grow, you had to make that change, you had to improve, you know, to get a certain result, and it leads you to the outcomes that you actually wanted, you know? I saw like a video on your Instagram. You bought like your first property when you were 20, right?
Yeah, 20.
And I saw, you know, like your mom was talking to you and like, you know, she was very proud.
Yeah.
Like, how did that feel?
Dude, that's like something, I will never forget that moment ever. That was by far the craziest feeling ever. Cause you know, so the thing was, it's like my whole family, like everyone has jobs, like first generation, everyone's coming from Mexico. So it's like everyone, they instill you know, I'm sure that maybe you had it as well, where like they ensure school, education, kind of college, stuff like that, where they don't want they don't want to see you fail, right? So when I decided, honestly, I just stopped going to college, right? I would just stop going. I was paying everything myself, but I just stopped showing up. It just, since I made that leap, it all kind of like everything hit me in that moment where it was like I did make the right decision. You know, I was the only one in my class, no one from my school that was able to do something like that, and it just showed, even though like I went against the grain, did something that no one at my school did. There was actually only one other guy who ended up kind of doing something. He moved to the U.S. Virgin Islands. It just showed like I made the right decision. My mom is proud of me because at the end of the day, right, all this other stuff's cool, the social media stuff's cool. I don't care what all these other people think. I'm only here to impress my mom and my dad and God. So that feeling was just so like you cannot buy that feeling. It's something that every young entrepreneur man needs to feel in their life, because from there it's like that motivation, that's real motivation. When you see your parents like happy for you, and that it's honestly so hard to explain, but it's just like you just feel so good, so happy. Like everything could be going bad, but just in that moment, like you don't think about anything else. You just think about all the stuff that you've done to lead up to this moment. And it was cool, you know. My parents always like they saw that I was a hustler and that I wanted more, so they for sure saw it in me. But just actually being able to do that, I actually told her I was gonna go buy a G-Wagon, and I was like, okay, like we're gonna go buy a G-Wagon. I want to take you to this and this. So she had no idea in the video that I was even gonna go buy the house. So like the reaction was just so raw, and I'm so glad I was able to film it, where I can like always look back at that. And people talk to me about that all the time, and I just want, like, for the content and stuff that I do, I want kids to be able to, you know, learn from my stuff. That's why I talk so much on mindset, because I don't want to just focus specifically on like marketing, digital ads, whatever. I want kids to actually learn something from what it is that I do, so they can go through similar experiences, because that's what makes me happy at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Like I'm sure that was like one of the most fulfilling, you know, moments.
I would say it was the most
fulfilling.
Yeah.
You know, like for you to lead up all that towards, you know, your goals and achieve all those things.
Yeah.
Did you have like a mindset of like, you know, I have to achieve this goal, or your mind was more of like a process oriented? You know, you were like more focused on the process or the goal itself?
For sure, the process. I feel like it's like having systems and everything in line. That's what's really going to take you to that level. Like, kind of just an example. It's like from what I've learned, it's like you can do everything yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You can go fast. You can be somewhat efficient, but once you have like a team and everything, then that's what really gets you to the next level, which it's system development, where having those systems in line, like saying, I'm gonna wake up early, I'm gonna work this much, I'm gonna eat right, I'm gonna go to the gym. That's when you see the most growth and you actually stick to it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the goal is great, right? And I want a Lamborghini. I'm not focused on the goal. I'm focused on the things that are gonna get me to get a Lamborghini. I'm focused on the things that are gonna help me retire my parents. What systems and everything I need to do in my business and my life in order to get that, as well as like a timeline on how long it's gonna take me to get there. So I know like I need to hit this checkpoint, I need to hit this checkpoint in order to get to my goal.
Absolutely.
So,
were your family supportive of what you were doing, or they were like that? Their doubts.
in the beginning, not really. Honestly, they kind of, it's different when one kid out of the family decides like he's gonna just do his own thing, he's gonna drop out, right? Everyone fears the word dropout, right?
Tell me about it.
Everyone fears the word dropout.
Yeah.
So when I told my family like, oh, are you going to college still? And I'm like, no, I just stopped showing up. I dropped out. They kind of like some looked kind of like down, and they're like, oh, like, well, I hope you figured things out, kind of like this and that. Where it sucked just seeing stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I was like, look, this is my life, so it's like I'm gonna do whatever
Exactly.
I want. I kind of feel like to go off track a little bit. So many people they're so influenced by other people's decisions where they don't end up achieving their own goals and stuff because they fear what other people will think about them.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, right, I totally moved away because I was like, I need to get rid of all this energy, which I highly encourage kids to do. It's like to just go on your own thing and just focus on you for a little bit. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. At the end of the day, it's like they're not gonna be consequential for your actions. So it's like you do what you want to do because it's your life.
I get that. Yeah, I think living authentically and just free of like people's judgments.
Yeah.
That's like a superpower nowadays, because as much as you want to like make your family proud, make your relatives proud, your loved ones, at some point you have to make the change. Like, are you living for yourself or you're living for some other people?
Yeah.
And even though those people may want the best for you, they don't know what's best for you, you know? So you have to kind of make that change. And,
sometimes they don't either. Sometimes they don't too. They don't want the best for you.
That's true, man. Like they don't want to, see you progress or maybe, make get better results, than themselves, So it can be tough. It can be tough.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I think one thing I dropped out too. So like I personally faced a lot of backlash. So it was like
college or high school?
High school. No, not high school. College.
Okay. High school's crazy. Yeah.
No, and I was talking to my previous podcast guest, and we were talking about that. Is like a lot of people are so influenced by like other people's judgments.
Yeah.
And they're so worried about protecting this image that they just forget. Oh, I am my own person.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
So many people. They want to impress everyone, right? I feel like it's kind of instilled into a lot of kids at a young age. Like I'm not gonna lie. For instance, like me, right? I saw kids with like nice cars at my school, and I'm like, damn, I want to be like that. I want to be like that, right? I got to do what they're doing. I got to do what they're doing. And then you kind of some kids, right? They get to a point where they're around all of this stuff, right? They start to post all this stuff on social media, which is not even theirs, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're with a friend who has a Lamborghini or something, but they always post like content and stuff where they now feel that they have to live up to that expectation. That's what people think of them, right? Even though it's not yours, people still post it all the time like it is. So now they have that feeling where they need to keep doing it over and over again. And it's not even them, because they're just doing all this stuff to pertain to like people who are watching their stuff.
Yeah.
Because they like the feedback, like, oh, that was so cool. I saw you at this place, this, that. I think the people that flex like other people's stuff online, social media, right? They have a friend who has a Lamborghini. They have a friend who's taking them to nice places, whatever. They're not even paying for any of this stuff. I think it's hilarious because now they feel like they're on that level, which realistically they're not, right? So they feel that they have to keep creating content around that to pertain to their followers, whether it's people from school, just like different people. They have this image of themselves, which they don't even live. Right? It's just what they put on social media. That's why everyone says, like, don't believe what you see on social media because it's probably fake. And most of the time it is. So it's honestly kind of funny to watch where those people that they post those types of videos, it's because they couldn't go out and do it for themselves. And they need to feel justified and feel like they're part of it when realistically they're not, by posting that type of content instead of just actually going out doing something for yourself. So then it's your stuff. Like all the stuff on my social media, I'll never post with someone else's car. That's just not me. I always post my own stuff because I'm authentic like that. And I don't want to even, for my audience, I don't even want to show them that. That's like something that we go ahead and like preach and do. Which I feel totally ruins like someone's personal brand and reputation.
I see. Yeah, that's crazy because like imagine we have this tool like the phone that we can literally manipulate just a whole different thing to the public.
Yeah.
We can create this false image that's not even real, portray a certain lifestyle, certain objects, just like it's not even ours.
Yeah.
And this is like a powerful tool like a lot of people misuse, and there's an opportunity to use it the right way too. You know, you can maybe promote your craft, your art, your business, your community, whatever you're doing. It can be used for something purposeful, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, unfortunately, you know, there's like people that use that for, you know, false like images, you know, creating certain things that's not even real.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, like, there's even businesses too, like that'll on like Fiverr. I've seen them. What they'll do is they will take pictures. People will take pictures of their lifestyle, send it to someone so they can post on their social media, which is crazy. It's turned into like a business too. It's kind of funny.
So they charge people to send other people like content from other people's lives?
Yeah. So for instance, like let's say, hypothetically speaking, like, right, let's just say you want to start posting stuff. You want to make it look like you have all kinds of stuff. You will pay me my lifestyle that I worked for. I will take videos and photos of everything and I'll send them to you so you can post on your story.
That's crazy.
That's like it's like a thing now. It's pretty crazy. I don't do that, but it's kind of funny that it's turned into like a business now, and it's leveraged people's businesses so much. Like, I mean, the online course info industry, where it's like there's such a bad rep on like, oh, courses, buy my course, this and that, where kids like they fall in love with the cars and everything, and then they end up like buying someone's course, right? But they follow them because of the cars and like all this, when in reality, it's not even their cars, just some cars they rented or buddies or something, you know? Which that's why the info industry, I feel like, has such a bad reputation. Obviously, there's people that are doing good, and I think that if you are going to start an info business, which I will later down the line, what I'm doing is I'm trying to be as authentic as possible, show my lifestyle. At the end of the day, I don't care if I only post like the cars that I have. People are going to be like, oh, well, like he only posts the same car, this and that. Okay, at the end of the day, it's my car. You know, it's like I'm not over here borrowing someone else's, renting this. This is my lifestyle, which I want to build an audience around that so they have trust in what it is that I'm preaching, so then they would want to learn from me. At the end of the day, it's like I don't want to have to sell anyone on it. Like if they want to learn and they see the stuff that I am, like who is as a person, as a business owner, then great. You know, then that's the audience that I want to build. But it's authentic. You know, I don't do the rented car bullshit.
Yeah. It's very difficult to see. I feel like a lot of people, they rather look better and look, you just portray a different image that it's not in themselves to, like, you know, look cooler online rather than just be themselves. And it's crazy. Like if you're just authentic, most of the times you build like a better audience. People actually fuck with you. They care about what you're saying. They like your journey. They connect with you. You have like you build a solid fan base. Yeah. But, you know, because of the quick results, the short term, you know, gains, you know, like they just sell out all their authenticity and their, you know, genuineness.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, at the end of the day, right, it's people, I think the people that think like that, they kind of think like as a sprint. It's just like, oh, I'm just going to make some money and then I'm going to bounce, right? Instead of the way that I kind of think about it, it's like I'm over here doing a marathon, right? I show the entire journey, the entire story of everything, so you actually get a feel for it, which I'm going to have like better reputation in the long run. Yeah. And plus, I don't need to lie. Like there's a lot of people, like you can tell when someone's lying,
Absolutely,
right? You can tell when they're not authentic. So that also reflects like on their personal brand, where they post all this crazy stuff, right, for a short period of time or whatever, just to get them to the next level, and then it just doesn't end up like kind of going through. It's just initially so they can make some money and then they leave. And then just ruins reputation, which I feel like that's also another reason why the info industry has such a bad rep. Because a lot of people do that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because of those who just, you know, mess it up for other people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, speaking of the info space, it's crazy how powerful it is, bro. Yeah. If it's used and utilized the right way, it's genuinely like, there's been never a time, imagine, like you told them a science, you know, someone who's like into science or an author like 1,000 years ago. Like imagine your work, your information could have been basically for everybody in the public just by a couple clicks. Yeah. That's really like a crazy like opportunity that we're living in, you know?
It definitely is. And I think what a lot of people are doing right now, so the reason that they kids fall in love with the lifestyle, right? Especially these younger guys who are making money and stuff. They convince the kids, right? They sell them the lifestyle, they sell them the dream, which at the end of the day, that's sales. But the information and everything that they're giving doesn't actually like reflect on like how it is they got there. Yeah. And that's only just like a stepping point, because I feel like a lot of people, like with their businesses, they put all the content out, they sell the lifestyle, and then they get into info. Dude, the info business does way more than the actual business in most cases.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
I have a buddy, he has about like 1,600 members, which at like a $4,800, $5,000 price point. And I was doing the math on that. Bro, it's a couple $1 million.
Per month?
No, it's a one-time, but you got to think. It's like, dude, a couple $1 million, and then whatever your other business is doing, and you're just giving info. It's crazy. So high ticket. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people are doing, in my opinion, which I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's honestly, it's good. Because, there's the people from that group that they take it, right? They learn from it. They build a successful business, which is great. But then there's also like the kids and stuff where they don't do anything with it, right? They don't actually apply the knowledge and stuff, but they get sold a lifestyle, and then it creates a bad reputation where it's like, oh, like courses suck. Let's not even learn anything. No, you didn't apply yourself.
It's crazy because you're saying that a lot of people, they want to make a certain change. You can literally give them the information. You can give all the resources, tools. They just don't apply.
There's so many people. This is kids will hit me up in the DMs, and I don't even really have like a social media following on Instagram. At least TikTok, I kind of have like a bit of social media following. But like kids will always ask me, and I'm like, oh, like I have this advice, this and this. I just leave them like a voice note. I tell them like exactly what I would do. I give them some advice, and then I just kind of sit back and watch. I'm like, all right, let's see who applies this. I'm like I think it's so funny. Like on one of my social media posts, I put the entire strategy for a company that we took from 6 to 7 figures on a wall. I promise you, no one like looked at it or like even applied it or anything. They just saw it like, oh, okay, cool, swipe. Yeah. I literally did that on purpose. But there's so many people that are just gonna, all right, whatever, cool, later. So
why do you think that is?
It's fear. I think a big thing is like fear. There's a lot of people that they think that they need to work on everything. They need to get so much information. They do all this prior to actually doing the work. But at that point, it's just school, right? It's like you just sit in a classroom. You kind of learn everything. You don't actually apply the knowledge. It's literally college.
Absolutely.
Where I feel like what I did is, there's a quote that I heard too. It's like, I'm the type of person to jump off a cliff and build an airplane on the way down, meaning that I'll figure it out as I go, as I'm getting like more experience, and I put myself through different scenarios and obstacles, because that's when I learn the most. Yeah. At the end of the day, when someone tells you like, oh, don't do this, you're not going to actually feel for it and understand it until you actually go through it.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm so big on just like literally fail. Failing is the best thing ever. Everyone fears fail. Everyone fears rejection, but that's when you learn at the end of the day. And like I've made videos on this, but that's what really grows someone. And that's when someone sees the most growth. Because you're putting yourself through difficult scenarios, like stuff that's irregular to you, you learn the most. On top of that, you become stronger, mentally, and then maybe even physically, whatever the case is. Like I said, like when you go to the gym, right, and you're kind of just going through the motions, doing the reps, whatever, and you're just doing them, you're not even getting a pump or anything, you get like no muscle growth, right? Yeah. Compared to when you're actually like pushing yourself and you can't even lift the weight anymore, that's when the most growth happens, the struggle.
Yeah. So when you're in that present moment, in that flow state, you're giving your all, even though it sucks. Yeah. Growth happens there.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you, like, I know, like, I'm sure you've met plenty of like people in business and different industries. What's like a common like mental roadblock that you've seen a lot with a lot of people that holds them back?
I think that and this is, tell me if I'm wrong, or this is answering your question. I think that they see the lifestyle and everything and they want it so bad where they don't actually believe that they can do it. They're trying to convince themselves, even though their brain doesn't actually think that they can do it. So is that kind of like what you're asking? Or
so I meant like just like, like different industries, like what's like a mental roadblock that you've seen common with people you met that, like holds them back from going to the next level or making a good amount of progress, Well, 100% discipline.
there's a lot of people that they're so focused on motivation where they don't realize like you're not going to be motivated all the time. Discipline has to kick in, and that's what really takes you to the next level. It's the days that you don't want to put in work. That's when you do put in work, and it becomes like almost like a habit where so many people they get kind of comfortable. I would say that's the biggest dream killer. Where, and I'm a person that I suffered from this as well. I made some money and then I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm going to enjoy life a little bit. I got comfortable, whatever. But then my business took a toll where I see that in a lot of people. They kind of comfort, I feel, is like this huge thing where people get so stuck in it. It can be like different aspects. It can be like putting yourself out there. It can be working on yourself. And that's what really gets people to the next level, the discomfort, right? But in order to maintain the discomfort and to keep going through stuff, you have to have discipline. So I feel that comfort and then discipline are like the two things that I see in people that's what makes them essentially like fail, and they don't end up taking things all the way through because they really don't believe in themselves enough to do it.
I see. So you're saying majority of them, they take action when they feel good or when they feel like the right emotion rather than just doing it regardless.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's like a foundational thing that you see like with all the people who make like a lot of great progress within whatever they're doing is that just do the work, show up regardless of how it feels, regardless of what's going on externally. Yeah. You just stay on your path and you just keep going. You just keep going.
100%.
How's it like balancing life and your business in general?
It's a funny question you ask. So I think that they're definitely, what I struggled with is I had my business and everything, but I was enjoying like a lot of life. I was traveling. I moved to Dubai for a little bit, and I was just going on vacations. I was going out to crazy restaurants and stuff where I was kind of almost neglecting the business a little bit because I was so focused on I want this lifestyle where I forgot about the work aspect. And I was having a conversation with my friend the other day. The thing is that when people kind of like fall back within their business, but then their lifestyle like increases, it's because you stop doing the things that you were doing prior to you getting to that point that you're at now. Yeah. So that goes back to like systems and everything, where as long as you keep doing the same thing, right, you have that balance as far as like I'm working, but I'm also like enjoying life, because that's why I spend money on my lifestyle, right? I get the cars, I get like the watches, and I like my house and stuff because I enjoy this stuff so much where I want to keep working harder. And I think that another driving factor too for a lot of the like more family focused people is that when you're able to do something for your parents, right, whether that's like helping them like buy a car, buying or paying for their mortgage, paying for their rent, stuff like that, that really pushes them to want to work even more within their business because that's what's pushing them. So that work-life balance, as far as like I work so hard to where my lifestyle, my life can be increased, or not even just myself, but for other people as well. That's really where I feel like that's just a huge factor in business and having that work-life balance. It's having like the motive for something, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people tend to go to the extremes. It's like they cannot have that balance. They either go so full focused on just fun or full work that's like they forget that there can be like a middle ground, And a lot of times when you go on each side of the extreme, like long term, you end up suffering. Your either business or your life or your mental health, your physical health, they suffer, right? So that's good that you're staying balanced. You're focusing on both sides.
I'll tell you a story really quick. So it's kind of funny. So like, honestly, I hate going to Vegas. I hate it. Like, I'd rather go somewhere else. But the reason that I go to Vegas is because, like, we'll drop some money, we have some fun or whatever with my friends and stuff. When I come back, I'm so pissed off. I'm like, why did I go to Vegas? Why did I do this? Where it pushes me so hard. It's like, we'll go, like, the lifestyle, we have fun, shoot content, whatever. But then when I come back for work, I'm like, dude, I got to be locked in, right? And I end up making, like, 6 times what I spent in Vegas. So, I mean, you could do that. I wouldn't recommend it, but like that kind of goes into what you're saying.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. How do you like? I'm not sure if you have a girlfriend right now or you're single. How's like dating for you? Like, how do you work with that?
So I was in a 4.5 year relationship. It didn't end up working. Honestly, like, even though I'm like 21 years old, I think that like I'm honestly just ready to like kind of just go to one person, just settle down. Like now I think so many kids, right? And it becomes like a mindset in like middle school, high school, college, where it's like, oh, I gotta I gotta taste the rainbow. You know, I gotta be with everyone, right? I gotta, before I go buy a car, I gotta drive German. I gotta drive English. I gotta drive, you know, Japanese, whatever. I would really like to honestly just focus on like one person, settle down, because at the end of the day, right? All these, which it's cool for some people, right? They want to experience everything. I'm just a person where it's like, I want to provide to only like one girl who's going to like, as long as she like takes care of like me, right? Takes care of my kids, like that's all I want. Like I'm a person where it's like, I'll handle everything. Like, don't worry, like as long as you're doing like the woman duties and everything, like I'm cool with that, right? I feel like there's so many girls now, which is cool, but they want to almost like compete with like guys. Yeah. And it's like, oh well, this who makes the most money and this and that. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, one, you're a team, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a financial thing, as far as like we're going 50-50 on things. And you'd be like, what are you doing to like kind of help me out, you know, like emotionally, mentally, whatever it is, together. So then we grow together. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a financial thing, but I would like to settle down, find someone. I think it is a little harder for young entrepreneurs to find a girl, especially because the way that social media is. Because the intentions of some girls, they see all the stuff on social media. They see the jets, they see the cars, they see the lifestyle, see the restaurants, see the vacations, whatever it is. I'm not saying all of them do this, but some just want to be attached to that lifestyle. And some people honestly waste your time because they just want to enjoy like their fun young years and be part of it, and then they just leave. So I think it's a bit harder for young entrepreneurs to find stuff like this. I think a lot of women, they need to, a lot of girls, they won't be with a guy because he's broke, but they don't see the potential that he has. Where, you know, my ex, she saw the potential. I mean, bro, I was washing cars like at the time, you know, not the prettiest business ever, right? I was dirty, I was like smelling and stuff, right? But a girl like that, for a guy, that's essentially what every guy needs. They need a girl that sees the vision, sees the drive, and what he's doing, and they're supportive on that aspect.
Yeah, it's 100% true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe social media had an influence on the minds of the young people. Yeah. Is that, you know, you have to like hook up with like 20, 30, 40, I don't know, people are going crazy nowadays. Yeah. For me, I realized that trap very early. I just snap out of it. I was like, no, this like goes nowhere. Yeah. Like I would feel terrible, like even if I just went on dates with girls that I just had no intention with, like nothing long term. I was like, this is just stupid. Like, what am I doing?
Wasting your time, wasting your money, wasting your mental health.
People just like guys, especially, they just do anything for like just to have sex. Like that's crazy. Like,
no, it's true.
Yeah. And you're ruining the girl, you're ruining your own energy, your time, your attention. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's such a beta mentality for guys to do stuff like that, where they just buy girls everything. At the end of the day, right? Like these girls, like they have guys that are sending them stuff all the time. So you're no different from like all these other dudes and stuff. So it's like, realistically, when you think you're getting this girl's attention because you're buying her stuff, at the end of the day, you're not the only dude that's buying her stuff. If she's allowing you, some girls, to do this stuff, then you got to think like you're not the only one, right? And I had a scenario like that, right, where I was like getting to know this girl, and it was like she was like asked me for stuff, and I'm like I just thought that was like weird. Obviously, I want to like provide for like a girl, and I want to get her like gifts and like, you know, like keep her happy and stuff. But it was just weird where I had that like feeling. I was like, it's like the intention wasn't there. Yeah. Right. So I cut that off. Luckily, I did that fast. Like I found out fast, but I cut that off fast. Where a lot of people, they don't see that. And they just keep going. They just keep going and going and going and going. I mean, dude, it's OnlyFans, right? It's like so many guys, right? They pay these girls for like little this and that, and they think that they're like, oh, I'm building a connection with her. Hell no, you're not. No. Bro, you're funding her next supercar. Yeah. You know, you're funding her next trip to Mykonos or whatever. I swear. So I'm totally against that. Yeah. Right.
I think there is like a beauty of like building like a connection with just one person. Mm-hmm. And I know like it's funny because like it's like a pendulum swing that everybody was like kind of going against it, but now it's like I feel like a lot of people are slowly realizing, oh, there is something valuable in this, that you share your energy and time and your attention and your life experiences and your memories and two families bonding together. There is something beautiful in that because if you just know that, I personally feel like whenever I wasn't in a relationship, it's like your mind is like so like all over the place. Like, oh, like date here, this girl, that girl. It's like you're not focused.
Not focused at all.
You're just not focused. I'm sure you know the difference. It's like whenever you know there's like a girl by your side, she got you, she's on your back, she believes in your vision, she believes in you. It's just so much more relaxing that you're like, you know what? It's just me and the path.
Yeah.
So and a lot of people, I don't know why they say like, like people get distracted in a relationship. Did you feel distracted in your relationship?
No, she actually pushed me a lot. It just didn't end up working because like I was moving over here honestly for business and work, honestly, to like lock in a bit more and just for more opportunities because where I'm from, I mean, there's like nothing over there. I'm from like a desert. So she definitely like pushed me a bit. It was like even to a point where she would be downstairs like making food for me or something, or like she was really good friends with my sister, and I would be upstairs literally all the time just working, bro, in my room, just for hours and hours. But she understood, and I think a lot of girls, they need to see that. Where some girls, it's hard because I've heard some like stories from my friends where their relationships didn't work because the girl wanted to, you know, essentially she wanted to go out, she wanted to kind of watch a movie, this and that, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
But it's just how you time manage. And for the guy, he's got to realize, look, at the end of the day, I'm going to be a supportive man. It's like I need to discipline myself and be like, okay, you know what, like we're going to do this and stuff, but like after I do my work, which I think that's totally fine. And my ex and I, we had that. It's like I would work like all day, and then I would just like at night or something, you know, we'd eat, we'd go out somewhere or something, and like watch a movie and chill. Yeah. But she understood that I was on this path, and that like I had like blinds on, where it was like this is what it is, because I'm working my ass off so I can provide for you. Which she understood that. Some girls, they want your time. You know, it's like they don't really see like the bigger vision that you have or what it is that you're going for.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends up being distracting when you don't realize it. So
that's true. I feel like a lot of people think you have to spend a lot of time with girls, but I think it's the quality of the time that matters 100%. More, especially for girls. You know, like they care about that. You can be there for like 2 hours, be like fully present, be fully there, give like all of your attention to her. Yeah. That's way more valuable than spending a whole day with her that you're just on your phone and your laptop doing 100%. This. And you're kind of like talking to her here and there, eating this, doing that, calling this person, that person. Yeah. It's like your attention is everywhere.
You're there, but you're not actually
You're not there, exactly. Yeah. Physically you're there, mentally you're not there.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why like you're right. You do your whole work for the whole day, like 12 hours, 14 hours, how many hours you're working. And then at night you can do whatever you want to do.
I think that's very, very true, because I also went through that where I was a person, like I was glued to my laptop. I would bring that everywhere with me, right? All the time. I would even tell my friends, like, I'm like, dude, like, can you just drive me somewhere? Because like I need to finish this work. I would sit in the back and I would just work on my laptop. My friend would drive me. Or like we'd go on like a vacation or something. I would always have my laptop. And then it ends up you don't enjoy the vacation or whatever it is that you're doing at all. You probably don't even remember it, honestly. And I feel like, you know, people like they work hard because there's a goal, right? There's something, right? They want to enjoy life to the fullest, whatever it is. They don't actually experience it 100% when they're not in the moment. So that's why I'm so big on like, let me get everything that I have to do now done. So then tomorrow or like later on today, I just enjoy the moment and I realize why I'm working so hard.
Yeah. I think when you get things done, you actually feel more fulfilled, and you're like, you know what, I did this, I accomplished all this stuff. You know what, this is not gonna make me feel guilty. Yeah. I did this. Let me just kick it for like an hour or two with my girl, and that's it. We move on next day.
100%. A lot of people they do feel guilty, right? As far as like some people don't even realize it, right? They got to think also to the other person. It's right. If this person's putting time aside to hang out with you because they like you or whatever the scenario is, you should be giving that energy back. So you work, right? Whatever, you stay up all night, whatever it is, so then you can be in the moment with this person who has set time aside for you because they want your time. You know, compared to like I went through this, some people are going through it now, maybe even some of the viewers, where they don't live in the moment, and then they're just like, the relationship doesn't end up working. You're not as effective. Your mental health is worse because you have so much brain fog and stuff where you're just always working and work is always on your mind. You don't actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. Yeah,
absolutely. I think there's like a beauty of like just being able to find like a sweet balance for yourself, because like a balance for you and me is different, right? Or like some other people is different. It's like if you're able to find that sweet spot that you're very, very effective with your work and whatever you're doing and you're making progress, but also you're able to set aside time for adventure, exploration, because there's like a lot of values and lessons. Yeah, I did a road trip a couple months ago from here to Miami. Like I went.
Oh wow!
Yeah, just
that's nuts.
Finished like in 11 days. It's like
11 days. Oh my god! I could do like 4 hours max.
Like I feel like that trip like teaches you a lot. You like if you go from here to like just say I don't know San Francisco, you drive there. That's a lot of lessons to be learned. You meet new people, like you see different ways of living that teaches you, that shows you like, oh, like I didn't know this exists.
Yeah.
Like I went through all the stuff. I saw like how people live, like different states, different cities. It's just you see like that, and you're like, oh, like maybe I can do this better. And you just like the fact that like the whole goal of life, in my opinion, is to expand consciousness.
Yes, 100%.
And like moving out or traveling or doing this place, going to like a random restaurant, that's expanding your consciousness, 100%. You know? So I think there's like a beauty in that, you know, like to focus on the work and also, you know, explore.
Yeah, no, I went to Dubai actually for that reason, because I was like, I need to learn more about myself. And that was honestly the best trip I ever spent. And just time in general that I spent, which it was a little hard. My business wasn't 100% developed at the time. Now it is. But the thing is, I think it taught me that by going over there, I don't have my systems and everything in line. So then when I got back home, it's like, I was just like, I'm rebuilding the entire company. So now we can like 8X exactly what it is that we were doing then. But I feel like people need to take like a leap like that and just go somewhere and learn about themselves. So many people are so scared to leave their bubble, where and that goes back to comfort. People are so used to the same thing every single day, where it's like, oh, I know my favorite restaurants over here. I know I can text this person. I know I can do this. When you move, I went to a different country for a while, and I was like, I only knew like 3 people over there. I didn't know any restaurants. I didn't know where I was going to eat. I knew where I was going to sleep. I didn't know how to get there. You know, I had like no idea about anything. Your brain really expands in the aspect of like, I think it puts yourself in like a fight or flight mode, kind of very similar to if you got left on a stranded island. It's like, you're not going to let yourself die. I mean, I hope not, you know, where some people will, but do you actually like think, okay, if I do this, you apply like different principles and concepts that you've learned in the past. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna work on my people skills. I'm going to kind of going back to Dubai, not on a deserted island, but you know, it's like I'm gonna meet this person. I'm gonna meet this person. I'm gonna see how this culture is. You learn so much, and honestly, I learned so much about myself. It was the best trip I ever took, and I 100%, even if it's like almost everything that you have, and you go out and you spend money on a trip and you learn so much about yourself, you will not regret it. That's why I'm going to be so focused on like traveling in the next few months, because I'm going to have my spot over here in Newport, but then I'm going to also go to Miami for a bit just to experience that. And I think I might even go to like Bali for a little bit too. So
now there's definitely like a lot of value in like changing locations, seeing different cultures and lifestyles. The bubble thing is definitely real though.
100%.
Very, very real. Especially like I come from like a Middle Eastern background.
Okay.
There is a huge emphasis of just like people are focused. They want to be in the bubble. They want to be the best in the bubble. They want to like live up to this fake image in that bubble. But they don't understand like that bubble is only this big. Like there is all this world. Like we have all these places we can go. If you're only stuck to this bubble, your consciousness, your perception is not going to grow.
So this is the thing too. It's like there's a lot of people, right? They don't find like people are such on the search for like love and stuff, but then they don't end up leaving like their bubble. They got to realize there's different countries. There's all types of different people out there, right? Where they get so fixed and like, oh, I have to find someone who lives 5 miles away from me. Like, no, you travel, like go out, like do some stuff, explore. And I think that people are so used to being in a bubble now where they lose their social skills. Right? And that's what I try and teach kids online. It's like to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. If there's a girl, right, across the room, you think she's so hot, whatever, like go talk to her. Even if you get rejected, all right, whatever, right? At the end of the day, it's like you took that leap and you learned something for yourself. But you never, this comes back to like, you never know unless you try.
Exactly.
And it's just so funny. Like I have a rule now where it's like, I don't date or I won't talk to girls like from my hometown, like just so like I put myself like kind of out there more. So
I see. Now that makes sense because, like girls from different cultures, girls from different backgrounds and cities and hometowns. They definitely think differently. They live differently. They operate differently. Like my ethnicity is Armenian. My girlfriend is Cuban. Okay. So it's just like a very different contrast. But there's also a lot of places that we cross, like our cultures cross, and there's a lot of similarities. So. Like when you see that, it's like, it just expands you, like your consciousness. Like you just grow more, like you see how different cultures deal with their families, and it's just a beautiful thing, I feel like with dating in general, I notice, especially like the guys in our age, it's a lot of like games of impressing the other guys, impressing our friends, impressing other men in general.
For sure.
I never understood like when that connection is supposed to be something sacred between two people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just treat it as like kind of like short form content. Like I call this fast food dating. It's like
fast food dating.
Yeah,
I like
I swear it's like everything is like just like this person, they get the dopamine, move on. This person, dopamine, move on. And this is the same thing with friendships I see, with relationships, even with businesses. You see like shiny object syndrome with people with starting business. I'm gonna start dropshipping. I'm gonna start this agency. I'm gonna do like this and that and that. Like, they never actually stick to something. They don't want to grow. And the moment, like I'm sure you've had phases in your life that you are really struggling in whatever you're doing. But a lot of people, instead of seeing, okay, what am I doing wrong? What part of me is actually, holding me back? Instead of reflecting on that, they're like, okay, I don't have to improve. I'm good. I'm perfect. There is something wrong with this. Whatever I'm doing, the business, the industry, there's something wrong with that. Let me just change it. Go to this place.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a never-ending cycle.
It's because I feel like people, they fear the discomfort of like failing. So they're like, that's fine. This didn't work. I'm gonna go to something else. Okay, before like it's like, so maybe the company gets bigger and then you lose a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And then it's like, all right, next. I'm gonna do e-commerce. I'm gonna do stocks. I feel like those are always the two. I'm gonna do crypto. This is what everyone jumps to.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could talk a lot about shiny object syndrome because like I went through when I was younger too, and honestly, I think I would be like 10x where I'm at right now if I didn't have shiny object syndrome. But it's one of those things where it's like people were telling me and stuff, but it's like I never understood it until I actually experienced it.
Yeah, it's true.
So I was like actually one of the first people. I don't know if you remember like seeing like these e-commerce products. It was like the blenders, but it was like a cup. It was like a cup, and it had like a blender in it, so it would like mix your drinks. So I started on that like when COVID hit. That would have, if I would have stuck with it, because it like recently became like another trend. If I would have stuck with that company would have been so big, right? But I was like, I kind of feared, honestly, like that company failing or just learning more, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be hard. So then I didn't end up going through with it, right? So it's like, look, I'm preaching what I've gone through, right? I did it too. It's not bad, but you have to actually like realize, okay, I cannot do this again, you know? And once I actually stuck to like media and ads and stuff, that's when I saw the most growth instead of jumping around.
Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta stick to things. I feel like with relationships, like, like a lot of people, it's like there is this lack of willingness to grow and evolve and adapt.
Yeah, 100%.
And it doesn't mean, bending over. It doesn't mean changing your life principles.
Yeah.
It means just finding a way to work out, finding a way to become the best team. As you said, when you're in a relationship, it's a team. Yeah. And I have this saying I always say, it's like, I feel like being in a relationship is the best and the highest form of self-development.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if, like, let's just say, you made the wise decision to be with a girl that, actually you guys are connected, you guys are actually, you guys got a good, genuine connection. Yeah. She's going to be honest with you. She's going to be calling out on your BS, right? Like, if she's not calling out on your BS and she's not being honest with you, like, it's not good.
No, 100%.
But, like, this is where it comes, like, I feel like a lot of guys, the moment they face tests, they face backlash, they face criticism, they collapse. They cannot handle that, and they feel like, oh, like, I'm just like this. I don't have to do anything to improve. There is something wrong with this person. But like, if they,
100%, they get
as
pissed.
you said, if you just take the time to be uncomfortable and actually analyze, you're like, okay, I gotta actually improve on this. Maybe I should be more clear with my communication. Maybe I should step up as a leader, as a leader in a relationship. Like, all those things. Yeah. Like, the moment, like, let's just say your girl tells you something, you have instantly a defensive reaction. You can like, you know what, like, you're wrong. No, something is wrong with you. There is a lot of growth in that, like, moment of discomfort. If you just sit in it and you're like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna man up. I made a mistake. I'm gonna grow on this.
Yeah, 100%. I think that a lot of guys too, is they get pissed off when like a girl, like, and there's actually a good girl who, she's like, hey, like, you're gaining a little bit of weight, whatever. Like, I think you need to start hitting the gym. Oh, what do you call me, fat? Right? And they get all mad and stuff, right? Yeah. But that's like, she's trying to help you at the end of the day, and it also goes like both ways. If a guy kind of tells a girl like the same thing, it's like, hey, you know what, like, maybe we should start going to the gym together. Yeah. Some girls just absolutely go on a crazy tangent, freak out, right? Like, oh, you're calling me fat, oh, you don't love me, all this and that, right? Which it's crazy. It's kind of funny, actually. But I mean, that's when you grow the most. Honestly, like, when I was going through, like, I was making some money and I was kind of getting a little comfortable. I didn't realize it, honestly, and this kind of put me back on. Was I I didn't really like. I was losing money, and I was like, my girl told me, she's like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing this, and this? Right? You need to be focused again. Like, you need to get back on your stuff. Like I don't like this, right? And then someone, like another person would probably be like, oh, what the heck? You don't understand. Like, it's hard. Like this, and that, right? But it should just motivate you and push you to be like, you know what? Like, you're right. I need to be doing this. I need to be doing this instead. But it's just so funny to see, like, so many people now, they're so they get so pissed off so fast. I think just overall in the world nowadays, everyone gets so mad so fast. They don't actually like sit and listen. Everyone's just like wants to be the loudest in the room.
Yeah. I think there is this struggle of like a lot of people being attached to a certain way of thinking and philosophies and ideologies that they're not flexible enough, and they're not they're not free thinking enough to see like, okay, what if there's something else? What if there's like different ways of doing things? It's like the moment you question their way of thinking, they feel a personal, like it's like a personal attack.
Yeah.
That's why they get defensive. But I think the moment you separate yourself and your, let's just say, your beliefs and ideas, I think there's a lot of growth to be made there, because you're like, okay, you know what? What if this belief is actually holding me back?
Yeah.
What if these thoughts, this idea that I have, it's actually holding me back? What if there is something better out there? When you're like flexible enough to change that, but also wise enough to not let go of your principles, I think that's like a very difficult balance for a lot of people.
100%. I literally 100% agree with what you're saying.
I think personally, from what I learned, is that it's okay to like be in those discomfort, to be in those uncomfortable situations, especially in a relationship, because whenever your emotions are involved, I'm sure, like, you know, like whenever you're like, you know, in love with someone, it's like when they say something that's, you know kind of hurts you, you're like instantly you're like, this hurts, like you want to react in a certain way. But again, like that's the time to listen actually and pay attention, because that's when you can turn it around.
It's all about response. You know, some people, they, like I was saying, like they get pissed off. Then there's other people that actually take the information, like, no, like, you're right, I do need to fix this, I do need to fix this. And that's honestly when the most growth happens. When someone, like a family member, a loved one, whatever the case is, someone who has a lot of impact in your life, they tell you something, you tend to, you want to listen more and understand, because you got to realize is that that person actually wants the best for you. So it's like, they're not just telling you just to piss you off or to say this and that. I don't understand why someone would tell you to piss you off. They're telling you because they want you to grow. And especially if you have like influence and impact on their lives as well, they want the best for you. They're not just telling you to just piss you off. 100%.
What would you say, like someone who's like 18, 19, 17, maybe they're like finishing high school, and they're, you know, coming into this business world, entrepreneurial world, and they have no idea what they're doing, right? They don't know what business model they're going to do. They have no idea how everything works. They have no idea about the foundations and everything else. How would you, but they have that desire to, you know, tap into the space. What would you tell them?
I would say to get used to failure, because it will happen. It's not an if, it's a when. So get used to failing, but also from your failures, learn from them. Because whatever industry it is that you want to go into, I mean, I say try everything. So, yeah, that's kind of when the shiny object syndrome. You kind of see like, okay, what do I like the most? What I want to pursue. But once you find that one thing, like kind of stick with it, or find one thing and then stick with it for a while, and realize like you are going to fail and you need to learn from those failures and mistakes. Because I honestly, like, I tried a bit of everything. I had like one failure and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this. All right, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this. So it's like, I can kind of almost talk on, not like to a crazy extent, but like I have a bit of understanding in almost like a majority of industries. I can talk about stocks. I can talk about, no, I can't talk about crypto. Talk about a bit about e-com, talk about like almost anything in marketing, because that's kind of like the different areas that I tap into.
I see. So you're saying just be fine with failure, learn from them, and keep moving forward.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
But like section in on like one thing, and then you know, obviously calculate like, okay, is this something like based off the way that I'm kind of going about this? Do I keep pursuing it, or do I try something else? But go if you failed a few times and it's like it's just not working. Right. Or if you have like a true passion for it, you need to fix it. And it's like there's proven, like for instance, people that like they start 30 e-com stores, but they're not working. Okay, like it can either be the product or it could be you know, in your marketing strategy. So it's like, don't stop e-com, but stop the strategies and things that you're doing. And like try something else within that industry.
Yeah, 100%. Because if it's working for someone else, most likely it can work for you too. You just have to find a way that works for you, that is going to be able to give you the results.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. To wrap things up, like I want you to, like, picture your younger self, right?
Okay.
Like, let's just say 15, 16. Like, what's one piece of advice that you're going to give that person, the person who's like in that phase of their life?
I would say, honestly, like, to like, as like kind of cliche as it is, but just to like never ever give up, right? All these other people, you think that you're friends, they're not. You only have like very select few friends. Do this for you. At the end of the day, you want to support your family, you want to help out your family and stuff, but you need to work on you first before you can help out other people. So I would say to really, really focus on like my self-development. Keep working at it. You're going to fail. And that no matter what, look at the picture, you know, years down the line and keep going at it no matter what. Because if you keep at it something consistently, you will get results.
Yeah.
Especially like no matter what, everything that you try, you keep going to the gym, you're going to get stronger. You keep reading, you're going to get smarter. You keep meeting new people, you're going to get better at socializing. So I would say to keep doing the same things that successful people have done in the past, like networking, right? That's a huge thing. So I would say to just get in the habit of doing things over and over again, even if they fail. So
I see. That was the perfect way to wrap it up, man. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming on, Ryan. I personally learned a lot. I'm sure the viewers learned a lot too. So it was a pleasure, man. Of course.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to interview you next time.
Yes, sir. Let's get it, man.
Yeah, dude.